Obviously, yesterday was a disappointing day for our program and for our team. Obviously, we're not selected to be in the NCAA tournament, to participate in it. But I told our guys afterwards, man, it's a great life lesson, right? You can't. You got to focus on the things you can control. We had plenty of opportunities to stake our claim, and we didn't take advantage of those opportunities at the end of the day. And one of my old coaches used to always say, you don't do anything 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And, I think initially, obviously, our guys were crushed, but we're all in on this NIT game. All in. That's the only way to live life. And, I got a lot of respect for Dennis Gates and Cleveland State. They've had, obviously, a terrific year this year. They won the Horizon League regular season championship. They were in the NCAA tournament last year. I think they had the second most experience in the country coming back from last year's team. They have several seniors. They play really, really hard. I've become really familiar with them, obviously, over here over the last, less than 24 hours, whatever it's been, 18 hours, since we got announced that we're playing them. And, we've obviously called a lot of teams in the Horizon League, a lot of coaches that I know, to try to get their feelings on Cleveland State. And they all say the same thing. They play really hard. They try to bully you on the court. They turn you over. They're going to change defenses. They're going to pick up full court. They're going to try, take your ball. I think they're 26 in the country in turning teams over. And then they're also really, really good on the offensive glass. They're top 30 in the offensive glass as well. So when the shot goes up, they're going to attack the offensive glass with all 5 guys. And so we have to do a really good job on the glass. We have to do a really good job of valuing the ball and handling them, changing defenses, going zone, going man, zone press, man press, or whatever it is. It's more about us and our spacing and our ball movement than anything else on that end. They got some really good players. It's interesting that the Horizon League Defensive Player of the Year is on their team, Hodge. The Defensive Player of the Year from the year before is on their team as well. Gomillion. So they have some really disruptive defenders. They're long, they're interchangeable, they can switch. So we're going to have our hands full, and again, I know we're going to get their best shot. We are absolutely going to get their best shot, and we have to give them our best shot, and that's what I'm expecting tomorrow.
Travis, what was the process like to determine, hey, we want to play in the NIT? Was this something that you asked your team and the guys said, yeah, we want to do it? Like, how did you arrive at that place?
Yeah, I had the conversation with them, and listen, at first they're probably going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And nobody's going to say they don't want to play. But I also tried to get a feeling from kind of, from other people, like, what are they saying? I want to know, because we can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. These teams are all the teams in the NIT are good. Listen, Cleveland State, they took the same team that we beat at Oklahoma State back in whenever that was, early December, I think it was. They took to overtime like a week later, right? Like, they got a good team, and they're good enough to beat anybody. I mean, they got a good squad. So I think the feeling was, listen, we didn't want to go out the way we did against Butler. Didn't want that to be the last memory and thought that we had of this team. And those guys wanted to get out here and compete again. So I told those guys, listen, can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. There's no wishy-washy. If you're wishy-washy, you get your tail kicked, right? And again, we got to be 2 feet in on this.
I watched the bracket reveal last night at 9 o'clock, and I think it was Colorado State's head coach they brought on for a live interview during the show. And he talked about how, he wants to use this as a springboard to get to the NCAA tournament next year. And I'm wondering, what are you hoping to get out of this experience in the NIT?
Yeah, same thing. Listen, the goal is the goal here, right? The goal is to be an NCAA tournament. That's the standard, and we know that. I want us to get some momentum. I want to get better. I want to see what some of these other guys can do as well. Unfortunately, I think CeSor is going to be out tomorrow due to a foot infection that he has. But I kind of want to see some of these guys, see what they can do. But also at the same time, man, we're playing to win. And I want this to springboard us. But I also want our guys, Adam, to remember, how it feels yesterday. That's right. It's why we watched it as a team. And that pit that you have in your stomach, man, you got to be able to carry everywhere with you.
You mentioned the standard and the expectations and what you expect to do year in and year out here. And I'm curious, like, is a season only a success if you meet those standards? Is it a failure if you don't? How do you sort of evaluate it when it doesn't work out that way?
Yeah, when you don't reach one of your goals, you don't reach them. That's a failure, right? But at the same time, man, again, like I said, listen, we're dealing with what's right in front of us, and that's Cleveland State. I'm excited to play. Our guys are excited to play. We're going to go out there and play really, really hard and be the more together team.
I think they had 3 guys on the Horizon League all-defensive team. I mean,
Yep.
3 out of 5, that's like 60%.
Yeah, so I didn't even mention Deontay Johnson, the big kid. He's the 3rd member on the all-defensive team. He's a 6'9" center from Detroit, long, tough. I mean, they play really, really hard, and they're just so darn active. I think their steal percentage, Andy, I said their turnover percentage is 26 in the country. Their steal percentage, where they steal your ball, because a turnover could be a dead ball turnover, right, as well, or a block shot or something like. They're 7th in the country in stealing your ball, right? So they got incredible hands, and they're very disruptive, and it starts with those 3. To be honest, and those 3 allow them to be able to play the way they play.
What experience? What do you know about the guy from Trotwood, Madison? You know all about Ohio recruiting. He seemed to have an incredible resume.
Yeah, it was interesting. He played for my brother
Yeah.
his freshman year up at Akron. Torrey Patton, who really came on late in his high school career. Andy, I don't think he had one Division I offer, and I could be wrong, going into his senior year. He had a tremendous senior year, and team had a lot of success as well. He ended up obviously at Akron. Then I think he went to Indian Hills Community College out in Iowa, which is a tremendous JUCO. And then he landed obviously at Cleveland State, and he's had a lot of success there. He's a guy, when they need to score, they're going to put the ball in his hands a lot. He's 6'5", he's versatile. He can really get to the rim. He's got a great mid-range game. He's a capable shooter as well. But a guy that obviously we have a high level of respect for.
What do they do at point guard? Do they share that position, or?
Yeah, they share it. It's interesting. They play 4 guards, right? A lot. Go Million, and I hope I'm saying it correct, because man, I absolutely, watching film on this young man the last 18 hours, man, he's one of my favorite players in the country. He'll start at the 4, and then all of a sudden he'll be at the point guard position maybe 2 minutes later. He is a warrior. He'll play the 1 some form. They'll have the ball in Patton's hands a lot as well. They share that responsibility amongst their team. It's not like it's a one guy, kind of running the show for them.
Cool.
You mentioned CeSar's dealing with a foot infection. Is this a new thing? Do you anticipate it could keep him out longer than 1 game if you do win?
Yeah, I don't think it would. It would just be a 1-game deal. It just kind of happened. He's been dealing with it for the last 2 days, and they got him on some antibiotics and whatnot, and they thought he'd be good to go. That's probably on Thursday, so I would anticipate it just being 1 game. Thanks.